Welcome back to the Frozen Forum podcast. This is episode 25, quarter of the way to 100. And on this week, we played the Minnesota Wild, the Anaheim Ducks, and the San Jose Sharks. We needed 4 points out of this week if we really want to be in that playoff race. We got two. What do we do from here? Alex, I don't know, but how are you doing?
Sell the team, bro. It's gone. Like we're so bad. We're actually such a bad hockey team. We beat the San Jose Sharks. Can you imagine the last place team in the NHL, and we did it in the most unconvincing fashion I've ever seen. I'm so done. I went from 2 weeks ago being like, we're making the playoffs, we're winning the cup. I'm back down to who's the first overall pick. It's looking like Matthew Schaefer. I love our lottery odds. We're like 7 points away from being fourth last in the NHL. Like, we're 5 points away from being in the playoffs. Sell the team. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I want to disagree, but I mean, it's still so tight for that wild card spot, and we're also so close to the bottom. It would hurt to go for that playoff spot, not get it, and then not get a solid lottery.
Look, there are some really good teachings that come from being close, right? The Habs team back in 2019, they had 96 points or something like that, which is normally well enough to get into the playoffs, and they didn't make it, right? That's when we drafted Cole Caulfield, by the way. So, good things can come. I totally believe in this management, that no matter where we'll come, we'll get a good draft pick. We'll get a good player. But, you can't play like this. 5 losses in a row, culminating with a win against the last place team in the NHL, and at that, barely a win. It was so close, and it did not have to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might as well just hop into these 3 stars, and we can.
Yeah, can you imagine we have 3 stars? I honestly thought before last night's game I was gonna have to come in here without 3 stars, because that.
It was that.
Who's
It
the
was
star?
that bad. It was that bad of a week. The game. We'll talk about it after, but let's just get into the 3 stars. Alex, let's hear yours first.
Okay, so first of all, I need to shout out my first star of the week is Yoel Armia. Okay, this guy, 2 shorthanded goals. We're top 5 in the league, by the way, in shorthanded goals as a team. Yoel Armia, 2 goals. I thought he's been playing excellent. This is the Yoel Armia that has trade value. It's fantastic. For so long, he's been playing like you could waive him. I mean, he got waived last year, right? At the beginning of the season. Look, this guy is such a contract-oriented guy. I've never seen it. It's like, this is his contract year, right? This is UFA year. Buddy woke up and was like, I need to play good hockey. Guess what he's been doing? He's been playing fantastic hockey. First star of the week. My second star is Alex Newhook. He had a fantastic game against San Jose last night. But, I mean, guy's been buzzing for a few games now. I like it. My third star goes to Cole Caulfield, not just because he scored last night, but also because of all of his other play around the ice. I thought he's been very good defensively, and I thought he's been getting to the perfect areas of the ice offensively, and it just hasn't been clicking until he scored that power play goal against San Jose last night. His first, by the way, since November.
Really? Okay. Didn't know that one. But yeah, that is pretty much exactly what I had. I had Armia first star, Newhook second star, then third star. Debating between Caulfield, but just to throw it up, change it up a little bit, I'll go Suzuki. I still like the way he's been leading the team. I mean, absolutely no complaints from him. Yeah, I agree. 2 shorties from Armia in the week. Kind of a bounce back from that Minnesota game, but we couldn't close that one out.
Hey, look, I've got a great question for you in the Frozen Forum Flash about that Minnesota game, but we'll get to that in a second. Before we get there, I want to talk about 3 things. 2 trades in the NHL, 1 trade in the NBA. We have to talk about it. Neither of us follow basketball very much. We're going to talk about basketball first. Okay? The question I have for you. How much did the Dallas Mavericks have to hate Luka within that organization in order to make this trade?
Yeah, I woke up and I saw this trade not on my main Instagram feed. I was on my whatever Instagram, the Explore page on Instagram. And sometimes, I don't know if you get these on your page as well, but there's fake sporting news, and it's just like ridiculous trades. That's what I thought this was. Nope. It was 100% real. Also, I don't know how they finessed Luka Doncic, who is out of shape, for Anthony Davis, who, for whenever I look at any kind of lines on him, is injured. So there's actually never lines on him. So I don't know how that trade actually happened. But whoever the Lakers GM is, give him all the money in the world. Because I don't know how you fleeced that. Good on you. But the Dallas Mavericks, I don't even know how to answer that. They must have.
Like, they must have, like, despised them. Like, I've heard a lot of stories. In the last week, I've heard a lot of stories about, like, just bad vibes in locker rooms, not being able to coach him, him not staying in shape, him not actually caring about, like, his own physical. I mean, again, like basically what people are behind the scenes are saying is he could be easily the best player in the NBA, but he just doesn't care about, like, half the stuff he needs to care about in order to get there. So they must have really hated him, I guess, is really the point. The question I have for you, it looks like a terrible trade right now. If Dallas wins the championship this year, is it worth it?
I feel like this trade in the NBA is damn near equivalent to not equivalent, but similar to the JT Miller trade. JT
I
Miller.
mean, I would put this one almost like a Wayne Gretzky trade. When Wayne Gretzky got traded from Edmonton to LA. Like, I feel that's really how this feels for me.
Yeah, that's the only comparable thing recently, but yeah, it does feel like that. And just to have LeBron and Luka on the same team. I think they're on the same All-Star team a few years back, and I remember watching clips of that. Lethal. Absolutely lethal. So to have them on a regular season roster together is absolutely nuts.
Lethal offensively. I don't know how the defense is going to look, but
LeBron's actually decent on defense. Luka's got to work on that cardio.
No, that's good. That's good. But so is it worth it though? Like tell me, if Dallas wins the championship, does this trade even matter? Like are we going to look back at this always and say this was the worst thing they've ever done? Or if they win, is it like, okay, yeah, fine, it's whatever?
And I think the Mavs GM is getting some sort of bonus crazy praise in the NBA because if he was able to figure out that Anthony Davis was the piece they were missing and they go win a championship, props to him. But that's not going to happen. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I like it. Okay, let's go into the NHL trades. We had two big ones. One massive one, and we had a few supplemental trades around that. But the big one, JT Miller lands in New York. I mean, it's been rumored for a while. We go back. We thought that there was a rumor there that it was JT Miller for Mika Zibanejad at some point in time, and we didn't really love that trade. How do you like this one? We've got JT Miller going over. We have a first-round pick, Philip Cheadle, and some other guy, I don't remember, on the going from New York to Vancouver. Did you like the trade when you saw it? Like, what do you think?
In my eyes, I think New York wins that trade pretty obviously, but Vancouver's been trying to get rid of JT or Elias Pettersson for a while, and if I'm Vancouver, I'm getting rid of JT. They did the right thing. And Philip, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name. He looks decent. He looks like he's a player with some solid potential, but is he worth JT Miller? No. I do not think so.
I mean, that's why there's the first round pick, right? Like, the first round pick eventually gets flipped to Pittsburgh for Marcus Pettersson and some other person. The big one there is Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor, and the big one obviously being Marcus Pettersson, because that puts three Petterssons in Vancouver, which...
Two of them named Elias Pettersson, which was
Two
ridiculous.
of them named Elias. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it was Philip Cheadle, Victor Mancini, which is a prospect, I believe he's 21, and a conditional first, which is top 13 protected. But, I mean, the Rangers could be bottom 13, to be completely honest. So
at this point, yeah, they honestly could be. But what if JT Miller was that spark for them?
Hey, I mean, he's been looking good.
I know. JT Miller's JT Miller. He just didn't vibe in Vancouver. In New York, who knows what he'll do? Time will tell.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. The other one in the NHL outside of those Vancouver trades, we had a trade between the Calgary Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers. Calgary acquired Joel Farabee, Morgan Frost from Philly for Andrei Kuzmenko, who I'm pretty sure has played for like half the teams in the NHL by now. Jacob Pelletier, second and a seventh. So again, Joel Farabee being the big name there. Not that big of a name, big dollar signs behind a lot of those players. Is that just Philly trying to switch things around, being like second last in the East, or what is that?
Yeah, I think they had to do something. Honestly, I don't think that was a phenomenal trade for Philly.
Yeah, it looks good for Calgary. I mean, you get Andrei Kuzmenko, who maybe could be good. You know, I mean, he played well with Elias Pettersson, and then was not playing with Elias Pettersson anymore, and then kind of fell off. But
yeah, he could be. I mean, he's maintained his trade value for a pretty long time now. But considering the fact that he's bounced around so much, just not my favorite thing to see.
fair enough. Okay, let's go right from here. Let's go right into the Frozen Forum Flash, and then we'll talk about some other Habs stuff.
Before this Frozen Forum
Before
Flash,
that,
I've noticed that a lot of you fans have been seeing our posts on Instagram and TikTok of the Frozen Forum Flash. You don't seem too happy with our takes on everything. But let me tell you something, because luckily for you guys from this point moving forward, we are only going to be giving just as outrageous takes, okay? You're going to see it here first. You're going to hear more about how we're going to get, why can't, Mikko Rantanen next year. It's still going to happen. Even the Habs fans are getting mad to us and getting mad at us, but I don't fully understand it. Like,
we need to be very clear on something, okay? We will continue having outrageous takes because one of them is going to come true. And when it comes true, we are going to come onto this podcast and we're going to say, look, we said it was going to happen. And look at what all of you buffoons said on the internet. You guys all said it wasn't going to happen. Ha, it just happened. So, yeah.
And even to the Habs fans that are a little bit upset with us, if you're Mikko Rantanen and you don't get a cup this season with the Hurricanes, you don't get past the second round, are you not looking to go on the job market again? Or you're in the market again?
And what team's got a better 4 to 7 year outlook? Like you know, if you're going to sign a 7-year contract, right? You're looking for a team that's not just good this year, that's not just good next year, that's going to be good for the next number of years, right? And when you look at our pipeline, we have one of the best prospect pools in the league. We have a team that's already shown it can be competitive in the NHL for a very small stretch of time in January, which was very exciting. And this is where people are saying online, like, oh, you know, if Mikko Rantanen was the only thing that was missing, you know, the Habs would add him and they would go to the... No, first of all, Demidov is missing, Hage is missing, Fowler is missing, right? These people are people we have coming up in the pipeline, right? They're going to be here next year, maybe the year after for some of them. Rantanen is another piece that brings that level up a notch, right? I really see it. And if it's not Rantanen, I mean, I heard somebody... mentioned Nikolai Ehlers as another UFA that would look very good in Montreal. I think personally Sam Bennett would be a fantastic 2C because we need... I think center is a little bit lacking. Like I like Hage. I think he's going to develop good. I think in the near term you need another center. But it's going to happen. Like this season is the season when we actually turn on our budget, right? When we actually start spending money.
Mm-hmm. Hey, actually, Bennett and Ehlers, I like Ehlers more there just because he's already built that relationship up with Laine, and just an easier transition for him and transition into the team. Ehlers doesn't sound bad at all. Obviously, Rantanen, if you need a team, come over. But if you don't want to come, we'll keep our options open.
Yeah. We got the full roster, bro. It's like we're on Snapchat or we're on Tinder. We've swiped right on all of these people, and they've swiped right back, and so now we get to pick. Like that's how this offseason is going to go.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, with that, let's get into the Frozen Forum Flash. I've got 10 questions for you, Nathan DaCosta. We're going to give you about 30 seconds each for all of them. We got 5 questions on the Habs, 5 questions on the rest of the leagues. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. I said at the beginning of this episode that we should sell the team. Who on the Habs is truly untouchable?
You cannot move Nick Suzuki at this point. He is your leader. You also cannot move Cole Caulfield. They're synonymous. They need to stick together. I really wish I could say Patrick Laine, but he's only been here for a few months. Is he untouchable? I don't think so. I think he can definitely move. Both of our goalies are definitely able to be swapped out. Montembeault, after this week, man, he did not look great. We've got to keep it real. He did not look great. He's obviously Team Canada's number one goalie, but
That's not saying much compared to who he's against, but yeah.
yeah, I know. I think it's really just Suzuki, Caulfield, and maybe Slav. Yeah.
Doc, on the market for you?
Yeah, he's on the market.
New hook?
Suzuki and Caulfield, they're on the market. Are they going to get moved?
Hudson?
Okay, Hudson also no. Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson. Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson. Slav, iffy. The rest, pretty much. Could be
on the market. Could be on the market. For the right price, obviously. Yes. I like it. Well, let's go into our second question, talking about Lane Hudson, actually. Since his 9-game point streak ended, Lane Hudson went 5 games without a point, finally getting 1 in the game last night against the Sharks. Is he about to go on another point streak, or is not scoring points going to be the new norm for Lane Hudson?
I think he's one of those players that needs to be playing all the time. So in January, when you have 15 games in a month, he's playing like every other day. He's playing every other day. He's always fresh. He's always ready. And then February comes and he has like a multiple day break, then plays his first game against Minnesota. He wasn't all that ready for there, and then that kind of just kept the ball going. But now the games are coming in again. I think he's going to get another pretty good point streak. It might not be multiple points in each game like he had during his 9-point point streak, but he's going to get that point streak again.
I like it. I like the take. Let's go question number 3, sort of Montreal related, but it has to be asked. Ivan Demidov scored his 9th point in the KHL, surpassing Kirill Kaprizov for most by a player under 20 years old. Will Demidov be better than Kirill?
Absolutely. Why do you think they're keeping him in Russia and not letting him come to the league? Because they know they need him over at SKA, brother. They would not be a team without him. They need Demidov. And let me tell you, back to our Rantanen conversation, just wait till Demidov comes. He's going to be the next Kirill the Thrill. He's going to light the league up next year. He's getting that Calder. It's going to be a year and a few months from now. Demidov, as long as he stays healthy, is winning the Calder without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I think he's easily the favorite. Let's go into question number 4. The 5-game lose streak was very tough to watch. Is this the sign that the team isn't ready and we actually need to go into sell mode? Or do you wait a little bit more before making a move that's going to affect the team?
Look, we have... How many more games do we have left this season? Like between 30 and 20? Like something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think you give it a few more games because obviously we get back into the win column last night against San Jose. Dirty win, but a win's a win. See what happens over these next, I say, 5 games. If we can't go at least 3-2, just tank. And some of these guys have been getting their trade value up. Like you said, Armia, another guy, your boy Jake Evans. Like some of these guys definitely have trade value right now. Might as well do it while we can. Trade them. Our team might suffer a little bit for the rest of the season. Hopefully we get a better lottery pick. Who knows? But if we do end up like 4-1, maybe 5-0, push as hard as you can and just go for it.
I like it. We're going to go to question number 5, the last one about the Habs. The Habs were shut out by the Minnesota Wild. How classy was it for the team to allow Flower a shutout in his last career game in his home province?
I mean, you had to do it for the Flower. I know the Habs were like, we just gotta let him get this shutout. But then, even better though, on a serious note, shaking his hand after the game. Every single player after the game made sure they shook his hand, even though he just shut them out. It's one of the nicest things about hockey. They show so much respect, even though it's the most physical sport. Even more physical than football, in my opinion. They show each other so much more respect. They show the coaches respect. They show the refs respect. They show every single person on that ice, on the bench, respect.
I like it. I will say that I watched the whole of that game and I was going to turn it off, but everybody in the Bell Center stayed in their seats. And you could tell the kind of moment they chanted his name. They had a standing ovation for him. It would have been really, really, really cool to be in that arena for that game. Let's go into the rest of the NHL though. Question number 6 for you. The Flyers played their league leading 16th overtime last night. in about 53 games-ish, so once every 3 games. What is more embarrassing? Not being able to win hockey games by playing real hockey, or losing to the Utah Hockey Club with 1 second left in overtime last night?
The best thing about that, they just let Dylan Gunther just like la-di-da through the middle of the ice and just take a wrister from like between, like just in the slot, like basically the slot. So obviously Philadelphia's trade this past week was obviously to try and start the tank now, just an early tank. Hopefully they can get that number 1 overall pick. They're gonna have to duel it out with San Jose there. They're gonna have to try really hard because San Jose has been looking not great either. Even though we stuck that win out against San Jose yesterday, we had 19 shots on goal.
4 goals. 4 goals on 19 shots. Goaltending is definitely a problem over there. We'll go right into question number 7. Okay. It was announced yesterday that Rickard Rakell of the Pittsburgh Penguins had been named to Sweden's 4 Nations roster. To celebrate that announcement, the Penguins posted, "Pack your bags, Rax." Is that how trades should now be announced in the NHL?
Yes, pack your bags and go on to San Jose, baby. Yeah, that'd be hilarious now, bro. What? Pack your bags? Who is behind the media team there? Because it's funny because obviously we know what you're trying to say. Next question.
That's pretty good. Eh? I thought you liked that one. We'll go to question number 8. We play the LA Kings tonight. Okay, we talked about the NBA trade a little bit earlier. And since that trade, LA sports teams now have in the MLB, Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. In the NBA, Luka, Braun, and Bronny. In the NFL, Stafford and Puka. The Kings have Philip Danault and Warren Fogle. When will the Kings trade for or sign the next superstar to bring to LA?
Well, I actually heard that the Kings were in the works of getting Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and Sidney Crosby.
There you go.
For David Riddick. That's it. All they had to do was get rid of David Riddick, and they're getting McDavid, Matthews, and Crosby all on the team.
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it might have been one of those fake Instagram news sources, but hey, I saw it on my phone. I'm pretty sure it's true.
I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, hey, yeah. You know, funny about that actually, that Luka trade, there's a post from 2023 where somebody posted basically the exact trade and was like, "Who says no?" And everybody in the comments was like, "Oh, obviously Dallas, obviously Dallas, obviously Dallas." Trade happens. Pretty funny. Let's go to question number 9 for you. We had 2 massive trades in the NHL, as we've talked about. One sent JT Miller to the Rangers for essentially a first-round pick and some players. Since then, JT has 2 goals, 2 assists in 2 games, while all 3 Pedersons combined have 1 point. Did the Canucks trade the wrong guy?
Nah, the Canucks just got to get their feet under themselves again. I mean, getting rid of, let's be real, JT Miller is one of their key players, and they just got rid of him. It's going to take them a while to get their feet back under him again, and they're going to need Quinn Hughes to step up big time, even more than he already has, because he was the Canucks for like the past month, and he's just going to have to be that leader, hopefully get the vibes back going in the locker room, because we know they were down with JT Miller, but I still don't think the Canucks made the wrong decision. I think what they did was right. I think they could have got a little bit more of a JT Miller, but at the end of the day, I haven't lost faith in the Canucks.
Nice. We'll go question number 10, our last question of the Frozen Forum Flash today. In the other trade, Morgan Frost was dealt in a package from Philadelphia to the Calgary Flames. Is this a bad pickup by the Flames? Simply because of the high likelihood that the Flames will melt Frost.
Yes, brother. Yes, that's 100% why. Like Morgan Frost is just gonna melt on the ice one day. He's gonna be integrated with the Calgary Flames logo in the center of the ice. Bye bye. That's it.
I don't know what I'm trying to get from that question. I saw a post on it though, and it was like, man, this is so stupid from the Flames because of this. And I was like, God, that's such a good joke. Okay. Let's go into the Habs. Let's talk about the Habs. The big rumor right now on the street is that teams might look to try to trade for Yoel Armia and Jake Evans as a package. because they play on the same line together. They have chemistry, but more importantly, they play a penalty kill unit together in Montreal and have been one of the most effective penalty kill units in the league, right? What do you want to see if we trade both at the same time, considering like Jake Evans is maybe a first round pick kind of player, right? And Yoel Armia is maybe a second round pick. Like, if we trade them together, would that be interesting? And how bad would our penalty kill be after that?
To all you on Instagram right now, you hear that? Armia and Evans? Do you think that could be enough to get the one and only Mikko Rantanen over to Montreal? Do you think Carolina would take Jake Evans and Yoel Armia and give up Mikko Rantanen? I'll let you guys decide this one. I won't yap. We'll just see what you guys think. But Jake Evans and Yoel Armia, no, I like it. Like, I think we talked about it at the beginning of the episode. Like, the two of the biggest guys that have the highest trade value, and yeah, we're on the same line. I haven't put that much thought, honestly, into who we would get out of that. Like, what are you thinking?
I mean, obviously we'd be looking at prospects, right? And I think at this point in time, like, draft picks is not enough. You know, like we're, as much as draft picks is great, we're in the period of time where like draft picks are too young, if that makes sense. Like you need them. You need ours. Like, I think you keep ours. There's no reason to trade our first round picks, right? But you don't need 65, 2020. Oh my gosh, are they actually 06s?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need 06s and 07s. You don't need 20 of them in our team. I will say it makes sense for a lot of teams. I think there are a lot of teams that could use some penalty kill help, some fourth line help, some depth help. Think about Edmonton as like a team that makes a lot of sense for. I mean, maybe Toronto even. Like I
think Edmonton makes more sense.
Yeah, well, what's his name in Toronto that can't play in big games?
Morgan Riley.
The prospect, the guy who was at the World Juniors, who just kind of caved. What's his name?
Easton Cowan.
Hey, Cowan, there you go, Easton Cowan. We'll take out Easton Cowan and a first round pick for the two of them. Matthew Nyes. Oh, we'll take Matthew Nyes actually. That sounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say Matthew Nyes.
Yeah.
Easton Cowan, we lose that trade.
That's
Matthew
fair.
Nyes?
That's fair.
I think that's fair. Just Matthew Nyes for Evans and Armia.
Add a lot of depth. And Armia is like a great playoff guy, man. Like I don't know if you remember. Like, this guy is so bad sometimes in the regular season, but like, man, playoffs come around, plays a fourth line role with Eric Stahl, and all of a sudden we're going to this cup final. It's just how it works.
I know the Leafs still get some nightmares just thinking about that playoff series against Yoel Armia. I mean, you're up 3-1. What happened?
Yoel Armia happened. That's what this guy. Yeah. No, I mean, like, those two obviously have the highest trade value. David Savard as well is a guy. Look, the reason I wanted to talk to you about Armia and Evans, like, I don't know if you remember Evans coming up, because he's been on like 3 different contracts.
Yoel.
Oh my goodness. Armia. Yeah. You Finnish people that are watching our podcasts. I am not Finnish. C'est très difficile. Look, I don't know if you remember Jake Evans coming up, like, as a kid, because like this guy's been playing for the Habs for a lot of seasons now. I look at Owen Beck playing in the game last night against San Jose. Beck looked phenomenal. Beck at 20, I think he's 20, maybe 21 now. Beck at 21 looks better than Jake Evans 2 years ago, right? When he was like 24, right? And this is what I'm trying to say, right? I understand what Jake Evans and Yoel Armia bring to the team. I understand that it's important. I understand that they do it really well. I understand that if you trade them, you lose that in the short term. But if you don't put players who are young into those situations and start teaching them now how to do all of the things that they need to be able to do that Jake Evans and Yoel Armia already do. It's like, how are you supposed to get good at playing a penalty kill if you're never on the freaking penalty kill? Right? Like, it's not going to happen. Like, you can practice it a million times in practice, but until there's actual people on the power play against you and you're put into actual positions, that's when you're going to be doing the real learning. And I just think, at the end of the day, Owen Beck is the future of the third, fourth line, right? Same thing, to be honest, on defense. We're talking about David Savard. David Savard needs to go. He needs to get traded. He has trade value. This guy is one of those bruisers that you can find. Like, trade him to the Detroit Red Wings. Honestly, these guys love our old defensemen that don't work anymore. But like David Savard, same thing. You need people like Logan Mailloux to come into the NHL and learn how to defend at an NHL level. They can practice defending as much as they want in the AHL, but it's not the same. It's a different game. You want proof it's a different game? Caden Primo is for the Laval Rocket. 8-0. And 9-something goals against average. 9-4-something save percentage. This is a guy that got waived and did not get picked up on waivers in the NHL. It's a different game. You need to get playing time for these young players. Beck is a phenomenal prospect. He looks really good. The really big concern that was about him from the draft, when he got drafted, was that he was not playing physically enough. He was a good skills guy. He was not physical enough. He came in last night. I thought he was really good on the puck, very hard on the puck. He came in and disrupted plays and made big things happen. That's amazing. He needs to play more games. Joshua Waugh is injured. He needs to play more NHL games, right? I'm not afraid. I honestly believe that if you traded the right people, including Mike Matheson, this team would get better. Overnight, we would have like a 6-game winning streak. Because there's certain players who are good and do what they can do really well, but that's their ceiling, right? And so if we took them out and we put in these younger guys and we gave them 5-6 games to get used to it, we would go off on a run that you haven't seen before. I honestly believe that's what happened in January, right? Like, in the beginning part of the season, everybody's trying to learn how to play hockey, basically, right? Slavkovsky's given new things to learn. I swear this guy does not learn very quickly, but when he learns it, he's really good because he's been playing really well.
And we throw Patrick
Laine
into the mix. We throw Patrick Laine into the mix. People are shifted around. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you.
That's all I don't know. I just look at the team. It's like what Jake Evans does is great, but it's replaceable. Every stats model says they're replaceable.
What do you think about Mike Matheson? Do you think we should and are going to get rid of him?
So I don't think we will. First of all, I don't think we're actually going to trade him. The argument that's made not to trade him is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay? The argument that you shouldn't trade him is he plays very big minutes. He eats a lot of things. He does a lot of good things on the ice. And he does it in very big moments, right? You know who else I can say that about? He got injured. Terrible injury, by the way. Caden Gooley and Alex Carrier. Those two been playing 20 minutes a night up until Gooley got injured. They were playing big moments, penalty kill. They were doing everything. And they were phenomenal. Defensively, they were phenomenal. Offensively, they were phenomenal. Alex Carrier scored. He has like 4 assists since he got traded here. 5 assists, whatever it is. He's been really, really good. Do you know the difference between Mike Matheson and these other 2 players I've decided to mention?
He is a longer tenured Hab.
No. Matheson makes more freaking mistakes. Like the severity of the mistakes that he makes is huge. I cannot understand. I tweeted this, by the way. I cannot understand. Mike Matheson might be a math genius. Okay? Might be mathematically inclined, as they would say. Okay? Because in some of my math classes, right, one of the things that we've had to do in university is find the point that is farthest away from 2 other points, right? Within a bound, within a circle, within a whatever, right? Mike Matheson is so good at that. And he displays it all the time by passing the freaking puck to absolutely nowhere, despite the fact that there's 4 other players on the ice with him. There's 4 other ice, and you pass it to the corner, and there's nobody in the corner. What are you doing?
For those of you that don't understand what Alex just said, basically, Matheson should only be on the ice for maybe 1 goal every 2 games. But in reality, I don't know if the stat is true or not. Let's just say, for example, he's on for 4 goals every 2 games, when it should be 1. That's what Alex is talking about. He's an outlier. He performs worse than he should be.
more than that, this guy from an offensive perspective, take away all of his defensive whatever, right? Because, we love to say he's bad defensively. And that's great. Offensively, I can't find this stat anywhere, but I know it to be true. He is one of the top 10 players in the league in shots that get blocked by the person that's standing right in front of you. Okay? Like the number of times this happens. You look at really good defensemen, like Nathan DaCosta, like PK Subban, like Andrei Markov, like Lane Hudson. Do you know what all of these people have in common?
Bobby
When they shoot puck, it doesn't get blocked. Now, in Nathan's case, he misses the net too, but it doesn't matter. It gets through. Getting through is half the battle, right? Finding a lane to shoot in is half the battle. This guy gets every shot blocked, and when it doesn't get blocked, he's shooting for absolutely no reason. He's got 3 guys open that he could pass to that are closer to the net that would have higher danger scoring chances. He's got nobody in front of the net, and he shoots the puck.
The funniest part about this, since I've been in France, there's really no way for me to watch Habs games unless I wake up at like some ridiculous time in the morning, which happened one time to catch a flight. I watched one period of a hockey game, and Mike Matheson had 2 block shots that led to breakaways. One was scored, one was a save by, I think, Primo. Or no, Montemo. Yeah. So for the very minimal full Habs games that I've seen, it happened twice in one period.
Listen. The way advanced stats work, okay? It's very hard for them to isolate one player, right? And so advanced stats will tell you that offensively, Lane Hudson is in the top 96th percentile in the league. Okay? Which is crazy, right? Like 96th percentile and I mean, it makes sense, right? He's 7th in defenseman assists. He's 10th in defenseman scoring in the whole league as a rookie, right? It says defensively, though, he's very bad. I found a fun little post I think you'll enjoy. See, somebody posted the 10 worst defensemen in the league on ice high danger shot attempts against per 60 minutes. Okay, so high danger shot attempts, how many of those are happening within a 60-minute span? Okay, that you're on the ice.
How do you define high danger?
Anything that's got like expected goal above like 0.6 or 0.7. We're talking about like shots from the slot. We're talking about like tips right in front of the net, whatever. Like we're talking like really like 90% of the time it's going to go in the net. Okay, unless you have one of these ridiculous saves, that you see on whatever. First, second, third, Ryan Lindgren, Cody Ceci, Seth Jones. Fourth, David Savard. Fifth, Jackson Lacombe. Sixth, Nick Jensen. Fifth, Mike Matheson. Out of the worst 7 defensemen in the league, in terms of high danger shot attempts per 60, David Savard is 4th, Mike Matheson is 7th. Guess who Lane Hudson plays with? 5% of the time he's with Mike Matheson. 19.5% of the time he's with David Savard this season. Tell me how he's supposed to have good defensive stats. He's playing with 2 of the worst 7 defensemen in the league for 60% of the time.
Yeah, that's wow. And that's a pretty good stat. I'm surprised I've never heard or seen that before. Was it some random person on Twitter?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Of course. A good source, though. Good source. One of my stats guys I follow. But, like, it's ridiculous. They're so bad. And look, you can tell me it's a problem with the system. You can probably tell me whatever. I think, first of all, David Savard is slow. Last night, there was a goal that was scored where him and Matheson were out together. Well, I don't know why they were. That's a choice. But, I mean, that's like the freaking recipe for disaster. Like, you put 2 of the worst defensemen on the ice. And guess what happens? There's a breakaway against us. Huh, crazy. Guess what happened on the breakaway? They scored. Huh, crazy. Who'd have guessed?
He's got 2 guys with bricks for feet skating back, lugging themselves back.
Matheson skates beautifully. If I could skate like Matheson, God, I would tear up our intramural hockey league, in which I'm playing tonight, right?
Beautifully is one thing. Fast? No.
He's fast, man. He's got a breakaway goal this year. Do you remember that?
It's been 50 games. He is slow.
He's got 1 breakaway goal, bro. He's a defenseman. It's not bad. No, look. Matheson can skate. The problem with Matheson is he can't make decisions that are good decisions.
That is also true.
Matheson is the type of guy who, I don't know, as my mother would say, if his friend jumped off the bridge before him, he would also jump.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's the one jumping first.
Unfortunately, all the time, every single time. Yeah. He goes, "You want me to do it? I'll do it."
Breakaway, free breakaway.
God, it's actually it's brutal. It is brutal to watch. Okay, I cannot help but think that Lane Hudson would be so much better beside somebody like Alex Carrier. Even like, don't even worry about going to the trade market. Alex Carrier is a fantastic defenseman, but he's small, and because he's small, they don't want to put him and Lane out on the same line.
Hear me out. I know this sounds counterintuitive. What about Lane?
Lane and Arbor Jacki had an expected goals for percentage of 86% in the one game that they played together. You know what the problem was?
Well, they both.
Mike Matheson and Alex Carrier as a pairing were 10%. They were the worst pairing. Alex Carrier went from being the best player on the Montreal Canadiens from an expected goals for perspective. Him and Gooley were the best by far. It went from that, when he was paired up with Mike Matheson, out the freaking window.
That Gooley trade hurted bad. More.
Man, I mean, his injury's scary, man. Like I don't know if you heard about this, but he lacerated his quad. So they're looking at, well, if you look at the video, what they think happened, you know how your shin pad and your pants don't like there's a gap, right? Like when you bend your knee, it looks like his skate got in between them, and yeah. And so they were saying there was blood everywhere. They had to rush him to the hospital. They had 13 people around him trying to hold and stop bleeding and stuff, and scary stuff, bro.
One time I went to an Ice Dogs game. This must the Niagara Ice Dogs, and this must have been grade 11, so maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I remember this. The Ice Dogs goalie, his name was Tucker Tynan, because he went to my high school. And I forget who they were playing. I think it was Erie. Erie had a breakaway, but one of the Ice Dogs defensemen was chasing them in. And they collided before they hit the net. And both players went straight into Tucker. In net, Tucker's the goalie. And the Erie player's skate went in between the pad and his leg and sliced into his leg, severing the artery. And within 5 seconds, pool of blood in the net. And it was one of those situations where they got all the medical staff out there. They canceled the entire game because there was so much blood. And they took him to the hospital. He was fine. He is fine, thankfully, to this day. But it was very scary. I remember the whole stadium just being dead silent, watching everyone run out onto the ice. It was horrifying.
That is very scary. I mean, the only injury I've ever seen live, there was a really, really, really big hit. I don't know if you remember this. A long time ago, between the Buffalo Sabres and the Chicago Blackhawks. There was in Buffalo, and there was a Blackhawks player that just got labeled, just flat out, whatever. And they had to bring out a stretcher and all that kind of stuff. And you could hear a pin drop in that stadium. It was one of those where everybody was like, oh shit, he wasn't moving, he wasn't doing anything, and it was there's no wave to the crowd to say I'm okay. Scary moment. I was 7. I was this is a fantastic sport.
Yeah, that's scary, especially at 7 years old.
Yeah, it's scary, but I was damn, this sport's crazy.
Damn, I'm gonna have a podcast about this sport someday.
Yeah, exactly. It's no, it's honestly from the Habs perspective, I really just think it's the big mistakes. Arbor Jacki was bad at the beginning of the season. He had to get sent down or whatever because he was making big mistakes. He is now one of our best defensemen, I think. Just because he's not going to do anything big, but he's going to make the right play in the right amount of time. He's not going to give anything big up, right? He's going to make the other team work. If the other team is more skilled than him, they're going to, get shots and get whatever, sure. But he's going to make it very, very difficult for them to do that. Mike Matheson makes so many freaking little mistakes that turn into big things, right? It's not passing the puck when you should be passing the puck. It's shooting the puck when you should be passing the puck, right? It's honestly mind-blowing.
It's staying on the ice for longer than 30 seconds at a time because this guy has the worst cardio that I've seen in a long time. No,
you know what I'm...
actually being serious. If you watch Mike Matheson in another game, just see when he steps on the ice, and if you still see him on the ice for longer than 30 seconds, just watch how quickly the quality of his play deteriorates. And not only that, if he does it for multiple times in a row throughout the rest of the game, it gets worse and worse.
Yeah, no, it's just bad looking. And I look at the rest of the team. I think the rest of the team has made really big steps. Patrick Laine got benched in that Anaheim game. He got benched for like a period and a half. Okay? He deserved to be. And I guarantee you that Marty had a little meeting with him after the game to say, hey, I'm sorry I had to do that to you. It was less, I mean, look, Laine wasn't being a great player in the game. I guarantee you that was less of a, hey, you need to wake up, Patrick. It was more hey, the rest of the team needs to wake up, and Patrick's a really, really, really good person to do it too, right? To show that Marty's willing to. The person that should have gotten benched in fucking half of these games that we've played is Mike Matheson. And the only reason he's not benched is because he plays so many hard minutes and blah, 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 blah. I like, it's so stupid. So stupid. Bench the guy. Send him down to the minors. See if anybody picks him up. When nobody does, you'll see how bad of a defenseman he is. You know, like, and if he has trade value, if you're trying to tell me this guy has trade value, trade him. Get him out. Send him to Neptune. Send him to Neptune. Honestly, hey, Leafs fans, do you guys need a defenseman? We have a left shot defenseman. I know you have a lot of those, but don't worry. He normally plays on the right side of the ice, even when he's supposed to be playing on the left side of the ice, because he doesn't remember where he's supposed to be. So he's basically a right defenseman, which is something you guys need or needed at some point in time. Probably could use him. Anyways, we'll take a 6th round pick.
And Austin Matthews, if you really want to, like, just kind gesture wouldn't be worst thing.
Yeah.
What else on Habs land, brother? Armia lighting it up for us this week.
It's honestly like the shorty-handed goals are great, and it's
good and all, but we got to play better as a team. Got to play better as a team. We need those 4 points if we really want to make a playoff push. If we have to come back next week, and we don't have 4 points, do we play 3 games over this next week?
Well, we play tonight, and then we got a back-to-back, Jersey and Tampa Bay, and then we get off for the Four Nations.
Oh, right. So yeah, I guess it is 3 games. We need 4. Like, if we don't get 4 this week.
Yeah. No, the Tampa Bay game is the biggest one, too. We play 1 o'clock Eastern. So if you want to watch that game, watch that game. We play 1 o'clock Eastern both Saturday and Sunday. New Jersey on Saturday, Tampa Bay on Sunday. That Tampa Bay game is the big one because that's a team that we're competing with for a spot in the playoffs. I mean, as it stands right now, Nathan, the Detroit Red Wings have won 7 in a row and are now sitting in the first wild card spot. You've got the Ottawa Senators, who are 7 in their last 10, who are now 4 points behind the Leafs for second, 5 points behind Florida for first in the Atlantic.
I told you, Ottawa should not be underestimated. They were looking good. Ottawa has always been looking good.
Hey, if it's Ottawa, Toronto first round, I've got Ottawa.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
They're a team that's always been built for the playoffs. Built for big moments.
Also, those Red Wings, what is going on there?
You change the coach.
Yes, that is true.
Change the coach, and I mean, hey, the Red Wings are,
the Red Wings.
They're supposed to be good. They're going to pick up David Savard. I'm calling it right now. If any team in the NHL is picking up David Savard, it's going to be the Red Wings. He's got to join Ben Sherratt and Jeff Petrie to make sure that they've got half the Montreal decor from when we went to the finals.
Yep, and then they can lead them to the finals.
I don't like the Red Wings. They can lose. They should lose. That's so stupid. Picking up Ben Sherratt and Jeff Petrie and if they pick up David Savard, like it's just bad team management, bad asset management.
Hey, they're on a heater. They're on a heater just like we were a few weeks ago. We know how quickly that can crumble.
That we do. It went away pretty quickly. Eh? All hope was gone. Man, where do we even sit in the league right now? After the win last night, we are 21st in the league. Yeah, but I'm telling you, we're literally 6 points. We're 6 points ahead of the Buffalo Sabres, who are 29th.
How far are we out of the wild card again?
5 points.
Okay, so we should not tank yet, but if, like, really seriously, if we can't get 4 points out of these next games, this next week.
Yeah, you have to go 2-1. You absolutely have to go 2-1. And in regulation too. We can't have any more of these overtime buffooneries happening.
Yeah, we need 2 wins this next week. We need to beat ideally Ideally, we just win all three, but the biggest one would be the Tampa Bay win.
Very, very, very big. The only other things I want to talk to you about. I said it was a big, big week in the NHL for a reason. Ryan Hartman, 10-game suspension for his hit or for his play against Tim Stützle. Deserved or not deserved?
I watched that thing like 5 different times. I can't tell if at the beginning he slipped or he was aiming for his head the whole time. But during the fall, he could have moved his hands pretty obviously, so he deserved a suspension because he did drive his head into the ice. But I think it's more of a question of if that was the intent the entire time or whether or not it kind of led to that. 10 games seems extensive to me.
It's a really dangerous play, right?
It's very dangerous.
Takes
but
his
also,
helmet off, slams
Yeah.
his face in the ice.
Yeah,
Does not look good at all.
doesn't look good. But do you think it looked intentional from him?
I don't want to say intentional. The word I like to use is avoidable, right? There are some things that are intentional. There are some things that are avoidable that I don't think was intentional. I don't think anybody ever intends to do anything like that.
But was it?
I think it's very, very, very much avoidable.
Yeah, it's like pretty much the same as what I was saying. But yeah, I mean, I think you got to give him 10 games just to set the precedent in the league. Like, you can't be doing that. As simple as that.
Yeah. I like it. I think that's all. Have we talked at all about the cap, by the way, going up? Yeah, right? Last week?
No, we did not talk about that. That's new. Like the cap for 2020, like the next 3 seasons, right? Breaking into the 100 mil barrier, baby.
There's a lot of money. How good does it look to have Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Uri Slavkovsky, all at $7 million each when a cap is 100?
It's almost like we have more money for a guy on the Carolina Hurricanes. I wonder what that could be.
We honestly might have enough for like all of them. Like, sign me Ehlers, sign me Bennett, sign me Rantanen, sign me, like, I question for you, right? I'm gonna make you Nikolai Ehlers, okay? Mikko Rantanen signs with the Montreal Canadiens. How much more inclined are you to go like, oh, I want to go there too?
Brother, I'm there. I think even if Nico isn't there, I'm already like wanting to go there if Winnipeg doesn't have some crazy deep run. It's similar to the Mikko Rantanen situation. If Winnipeg goes deep, if I'm Ehlers, I'm sticking with Winnipeg. If, we were first in the league, we're still like one of the top teams. Are they still first in the league?
Yeah.
Where's Washington?
I think it's Washington right now. No, it is Winnipeg.
Yeah, like if you don't make it past the second round, same thing. Got to look for another team, and your boy Patrick on an up and coming team. You're going to Montreal. But yeah, if Miko's there too, that's just a hands down. Like, he's gone.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us, right? We haven't gotten to talk about free agents for like a few years now, right? Because it hasn't been top of mind. Is like next year with Ivan Demidov coming, like it's actually the opening of the window. Like, our official window to compete for a cup opens next year. And it's just a matter of, are we a legitimate Stanley Cup competitor next year by signing big players? Or are we still just one of these rebuilding teams that's trying to get into the playoffs? Right? And I think that's really the difference. And I think that's how this team has been crafted from the get-go by Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, has been, next year is the year that it needs to shift, right? This year is the year we can be somewhat competitive, is the year that we learn to win games. It's the year that we learn how to play hard hockey and get really, really, really tough points when we're playing good opponents. We've done that. Now it's time to put everything together, tank, right? Get rid of some salary for next year in Mike Matheson, and really make a stab in free agency this year. Because with these cap hits, like, we have the money. Montreal is one of the only markets in the league that will be able to spend the cap every year because we have the money. Let's go spend it.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, these next 3 years, if we really can't get into the playoffs once, this will feel
it's honestly, if we don't make it next year, like we need to be firing somebody. You know, like I don't know who. I don't know if it's necessarily Kent Hughes. If we don't make the playoffs next year, Marty's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. We just got to get the job done. Like we keep having these random. We're getting a lot of hope here, and then go on a 5-game losing streak, and
But
that's
that's
happened.
okay for this year, right? Like we have to stress this year it's okay. In the grand scheme of things, this year that's fine. What we have to do this year though is learn after that 5-game losing streak and not go on another one, right? The rest of the season we cannot be on another 5-game losing streak. If we are, we're not learning things. In which case we're doing very bad as a team. Next year, turning point. Ivan Demidov is here. Michael Hage is maybe here. And you're signing people in the offseason. Next year's in the playoffs. I'm going to say this right now. It's February 5th. We make the playoffs next year or Marty's gone. That's it.
I have no rebuttal to that. I agree.
I don't know how much else you want to talk about. Anything else in any of the leagues? I want your Super Bowl pick. Sorry, Super Bowl pick is too easy. Obviously, I have a better pick. Will the Super Bowl be decided on a roughing the passer call or will it not?
It'll be decided on multiple roughing the passer calls because the Eagles, look, man, they look insane right now. The Eagles look so unstoppable right now. The Chiefs are obviously the Chiefs. Say what you want about the refs, but you can't bat the fact that the Chiefs are a phenomenal team. They have the best defense in the league, and they have Patrick Mahomes at QB. Now, they do get a lot of calls going their way. They're going to get multiple roughing the passer calls going their way. Also, Patrick Mahomes is very good at drawing those calls. He knows how to play himself very slowly towards the sideline, accelerate at the last second, make it look like I was out of bounds and he pushed me, that type of thing. Or even when he's in the play, he exaggerates a little bit like a soccer player, but he knows what he's doing, but it's part of the game. Are the refs paid? Are the refs not? That's for you guys to decide. But Super Bowl pick, I pray to God it's the Eagles. I'm praying it's the Eagles. And if the Eagles win,
one time,
baby. One time. And the Gatorade color will be yellow. If the Eagles win, it'll be yellow. If the Chiefs win, it'll be purple. I'm going to play this back after the Super Bowl because I already know. Like, I poured the Gatorade in that cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. You did personally, right?
Yeah.
Here's another question for you. Chiefs win. Does Travis Kelce propose on live television?
How long have they been dating?
I don't even know. 2 years? Less than 2 years? A little less than 2 years?
Yeah, I think he actually will propose to her because I don't think Taylor Swift's made him just hating on Taylor Swift. I don't know how long her longest relationship is because she, at the beginning of her career, I mean, she had a new banger album every freaking 6 months, it seemed like, because there was a new heartbreak. And hey, it's going to happen. It's been 2 years. It's the longest ever for her. He's going to propose.
I don't know if it's actually the longest ever for her. I don't know enough about Taylor Swift, but
that could be misinformation.
That's pretty good. I think with that, we'll end it. We'll talk about more stuff next week.
We will talk more next week. Thank you, all of you, sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts. To those of you that have actually made it to this point in the episode, where we are now over an hour in, thank you so much. Make sure that you are liking, subscribing, leaving a comment on YouTube. It's really helping us grow. We are almost at 70 subscribers now. And just to remind you, we still have that 100 subscriber giveaway, but it is only going to happen during the hockey season, right? Because that's the only time it can happen. We need it to happen within the next 2 months here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can also be entered into this giveaway for the Frozen Forum podcast. So that you also, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure that you give us a follow and give us a rating there. The 5-star rating there helps us grow there. Same for Amazon Podcasts, same for Apple Podcasts. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. We post our YouTube shorts there. I know that all of you on Instagram have been absolutely loving Alex and our takes over the past few weeks. We see all the love, all the support.
Love getting ratioed on some of our reels too. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
to those of you that actually don't know what's going on, we are getting flamed for our Mika Rantanen takes. Just take a look at our pin post. But it's awesome. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, look at any of our posts that have over 10,000 views. It's all us saying ridiculous things and getting a lot of comments telling us we're ridiculous. It's pretty funny. There's some really good comments on there.
Hey, it's been working. The engagement's been blowing up on Instagram. We're almost at 100 on Instagram now, too. Hey, started from the bottom, baby.
I was gonna say is I don't know if you saw that one comment. There's one comment I actually commented back and was like, "Damn, this is a good comment," because it was like, "Man, Donald Trump was right. The fentanyl is in Canada."
I saw that. That was good.
That's fantastic. What a comment. But yes, we thank you everybody for
Thank you, everyone.
your support.
Au revoir et bonne soirée.